Now, when hair really recedes, it stops growing out and goes higher on the forehead, right? If you're saying this receding, right? It's not doing that in 3 years, right? So you can argue all you want. You think it's receding when it's not, right? Receding, right? The word means something, right? It means here on this side, you think it's higher, so you think I'm losing hair there, right? And that the hairline's receding. Well, if it were, it wouldn't be in the same location as 3 years ago, right? And it would slowly be losing hair in that area too, right? You can't hide it if it's receding for 3 years, right? Like you've been saying, right? Now, this frustrates most male pattern bald people, right? Not just someone you don't know who you're attacking with about it every day, right? And like I said, the other side, though, is lower, right? As well. But still, the hair ain't receding on either side, either side. Receding means it's going up into the scalp, right? But it's the same, right? Or I can't show you that either, right? See, the hair is still where it's at, right? It's not getting higher or lower, which is what receding means on the scalp, right? This is your scalp, right? All this, right, is your head, right? Your head and hair are also different, right? This is your whole head, right? This is your hair, right? On your head, right? So right here, it's all the same, right? It's not receding, right? The word to recede means you're slowly or quickly, right, losing the hair in a certain area, and you would noticeably see it if you were. But if it's not receding, you're lying about it and confused about it, or perhaps dealing with male pattern baldness yourself and already went bald yourself, right? And trying to say the same thing that happened to you is happening to me, right? Whether it is or not, it's not something you can just diagnose after 3 years on YouTube, right? Or change overnight, right? In other words, if it's not receding, right, period, you can't make it recede by saying it's receding, right? To get on my nerves about it. And yes, you would get on most people's nerves if you continually bring it up day after day for 3 years, right? When it ain't receding, right? That will bother anyone, period. And that's what I'm explaining to you, right? In fact, you can't even brush the hair if it's receding, right? So how can I brush it, right? As well. Right. If it's receding, even brushing your hair would show that, but it's not, right? See, the hair's the same, right? And then after this, all we're doing is arguing about it, whether it's receding or not, right? And it seems to be your problem, really not mine, that it's not receding. It's the same, I know. And everybody keeps talking about somebody's hair. No matter who it is, when you're talking about somebody's hair. Even Donald Trump, right, in his 70s, don't like it when people talk about his hairline receding. So again, you know that too, right? So what is the actual hairline, right? Can you see it, right? Well, the right side still is the same as yesterday for 3 years, right? It's neither getting higher nor lower, right? So that means it's the same, right? If it were receding, I couldn't tell you that, right? If it wasn't receding, I can tell you that, right? And do a comparison from yesterday to today, too, right? If it's not receding. If I can't even rationalize it with you, you're the one cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Cuckoo for Cocoas. Indeed, indeed. And I can't help that you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It's not about your race or my race either. I don't know your race by a blog. And even black people own nail salons, right? Black women especially own nail salons, right? What about it? Even they can't work a 15-year-old girl, even their own daughter, in the store that, right? By the way. No one can, right? It's considered a hazardous job, right? Plus, if you make her stay on the property, that's not allowed either. She's supposed to be able to leave the property too, right? In other words, if you only make her stay in the building you leased, right, and won't let her leave, right, because she's 15, right, you know she's not supposed to be there, right? That's another thing it says you can't do, right? Is keep her on the property or premises and not give her freedom to leave the premises, right? It's all there in the Georgia law book for you to read yourself if you don't believe me. Now, any job where you prohibit the person from being able to leave the job site is considered something off. Yeah. Especially if she's 15 or 16, right? She should have the freedom to walk down to another store, right? And get something or not, right? And you not freak out over it, right? Because she's not supposed to be doing that job anyway, right? Then why do you make the women wear masks who do the job, right? Even in an African-American nail salon, right? They have to wear a mask for some reason, right? Is that because of the chemicals involved with the nails, right? That would put the 15-year-old in danger. You can't work her without special permits, right? As well, which you have to have on the premises. Is that why she lied to me and told me she was 37? She didn't have the permits on the premises, right? And I don't know if she did or didn't. That was my first time going into that particular nail salon. Though she's not the only Asian girl I asked her name, her age, where she was from, or things of that nature either, right? Did she go to college or school, or was she in high school, or anything like that, right? Though at 37, right, you're obviously out of high school, right, by then, right? But if she tells me she went to college or whatever, and is from New Jersey or whatever, I can't necessarily validate that, right? The first day I met her, right? And I keep telling you why, too. You're not in Vietnam anymore if you're a Vietnamese man over here in Georgia, right? Georgia rules apply, not Vietnamese rules where you can do whatever you want to do with the girl, too, right? In Vietnam, you might can work her in your nail salon. No one would say anything or be the wiser either, right? But not in Georgia. Whole point, too, you're in a different country under different rules, right? Those rules are to protect your daughter so you don't exploit her at 15, right? And try to make her do a job she's not quite ready in the eyes of the law to do yet, right? Though even Jesus broke laws technically when he healed on the Sabbath to the religious people around him, right? And yet, technically, they're right. He did break the law. Even his disciples picked corn on the Sabbath day, and this Egyptian dude just picked up 2 sticks, and they had to stone him for it. So what's the point there, right? I don't know either. I don't know either. But he was doing good on the Sabbath by healing people, right? Like he told him, if your donkey falls into the pit on the Sabbath day, you can't leave it overnight or it'll die in the pit, right? So what does that mean? You got to get it out that same day, right? So that means the law is interpretable, right? Depends on what you're doing on the Sabbath day, right? Same about sex and marriage. The woman at the well was no longer married to the 5 husbands she had who had all divorced her. And yes, she was living with the dude, but that don't mean they were having sex anymore either. So could Jesus himself have sex with her if she stayed with her 2 more nights? Probably, right? It didn't say he couldn't, even if he's married himself. Is that adultery to you if he did? Or her? That's right. So what is adultery? Sleeping with a married woman. She wasn't married though, right? Was Jesus a married man? Maybe. We don't know that either, right? Did he have to legally marry a woman before he could have sex with her? Does Moses say that? No. He does deal with it if you do have sex with a woman unbetrothed, right? Which is what she still is at her age, right? She's just living with a dude, but she's not betrothed anymore, right? She's just living with somebody, right? Whether they're having sex or not, we don't know from the story, right? It didn't go into all of that detail. Right? But could her and Jesus hook up? Probably, right? Do you stick around for 2 days, right? Around the women and the men, right? If you don't really want to get to know the woman better herself, right? No. There's no real reason to stay around longer than that either. Though they went back later on, the following year, right? A year after, probably. And Jesus was as if he would go to Jerusalem, and the disciples wanted to call down fire from heaven and destroy Samaria, like Elijah did, right? And Jesus said, "What? You know not what spirit you're of, right? That's overkill." At the same time, what the hell? You want to call down fire from heaven because I'm going to Jerusalem and they're upset that I don't want to stay around them? Well, you don't understand. I'm the Messiah, right? They done met me, right? But I'm going to Jerusalem now, right? So they're a little bit perturbed by that, right? But you don't got to call fire down from heaven and destroy them like Elijah. Come on. Do you understand? The law is about mercy sometimes too, right? Now, I don't care if a 15-year-old girl wants to work at her dad's nail salon. That ain't the problem either, right? But the problem is when I'm blacked out during the time I'm in there and I don't quite remember fully what happened. And I went in there to get my nails done and remember that part of it, but not the whole encounter with the girl. That's the problem, right, with the whole story there, whether she's lying or not, right? And you can't break the rules either, right? Sir, madam, whatever you are. You or your daughter, technically speaking, right? All you gotta do, though, is tell me she's being trained to do somebody's nails, right? She didn't tell me that, though, right? She told me something different, right? That made it technically legal if I was to be with her or not, right? And even though, yes, it's illegal to have sex in the bathroom, but it's a misdemeanor. It's not a felony charge, right? It's less as wrong as, again, right? Like I'm in my bathroom now, right? If I take her into the bathroom and we do something in private, or she takes me up to her office, or your office, and we do something there, right? I don't know which, because I can't fully remember everything either. I do remember the conversation we had before that part of the interaction with her. Mm-hmm. But after that, it kind of gets cloudy every time we're deciding something else, right, between me and her. Mm-hmm. And I can't fully remember what all we discussed, except she was doing my nails at a certain point, right? Even if we did something else as well. Mm-hmm. And it's more than something else I can't quite fully remember, I guess. But whatever. She's still not supposed to lie to me, and she still has to have at least a Georgia ID or a New Jersey ID to work the job, right? Right. So if I asked her for her ID from New Jersey or Georgia, right, and she didn't have it, or she wanted me to follow her somewhere else, right, to go look for it, right, and we went and looked for it, and she seduced me, right. She's not supposed to do that either, though. If she did, and I gave in to her seduction, I'm still not the one trying to deceive her. Mm-hmm. She's then trying to deceive me because she don't have the ID, right, on her at the time, which could also mean she simply left it at home, right? So again, I'm still not trying to break the rule, even if we broke the rule, right, of sleeping in the bathroom or the office or having sex in it, right? I've heard of both, actually, right? I've heard of bosses having sex with the secretary in their offices even, right? Or in the bathroom even, right? Or someone on a date with a female, right? Doing that, right? With the female in the office or in the, right? Bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. Right. So there you go. Mm-hmm. Have a good day.